Guys, big news. The Supreme Court is about to make a major decision on student loan forgiveness. Will President Biden's plans hold up? Huge question mark. That decision will shape about 40 million Americans and their financial futures. Find out all the details in this video. So guys, I'm going to explore the legal battle, some of the constitutional considerations, and just the potential impact on millions of borrowers. So if the justices approve President Biden's plan, many borrowers are going to immediately get $20,000 of debt canceled. That's if they received their Pell Grant in college. That's a type of aid available to low-income families, and as much as $10,000 if they didn't get that grant. So that's about 14 million people that possibly could emerge student debt-free from the plan. And that's potentially going to make it easier for someone to say, buy a home, start a family, or even open up a business. Alright, so here's what I know so far about the Supreme Court's deliberation, and also what you should know. Alright, 1. I think the decision is going to be expected before July. You shouldn't be stuck waiting on justice too much longer. I think a ruling is going to come by like early July, before the summer term ends. They're normally go on recess, so expect that decision soon. Secondly, the presidential power to cancel student debt is kind of in question. The cost of this plan is about $400 billion, and so it's one of the most expensive executive actions in history. And so the justices are trying to examine whether or not the president has the power to implement such a big policy. However, his administration is saying that it's acting within the law. So under the HEROES Act of 2003, it basically grants the U.S. Secretary of Education to make changes to the federal student loan program during national emergencies. Essentially, their argument is that indeed the country was operating under a national emergency due to COVID-19, and that's exactly when the president rolled out his plan. And during some of the oral arguments, this also got some support. One of the comments were that there hasn't been a national emergency like this in this time that the HEROES Act has been in place, because essentially so many borrowers are being affected. And so Biden's plan is basically getting some credit there, because essentially some comments are saying that it's not surprising to see this response to a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. Also, get this, a top education department official recently warned that resuming student loan bills without Biden's plan could trigger a historic rise in delinquencies and defaults. We don't want that. Those payments remained on hold from a pandemic-era policy that began in March 2020. We're now in 2023, guys. That's a long time that student loans have been on hold. Third, there is this issue of legal standing that could save the plan. Some experts believe the justice could reject the lawsuits against the president's plan because the states and groups bringing the cases basically failed to prove that they could be harmed by the policy, which is a requirement to gain the right to sue. So there are basically 6 states that's arguing against Joe Biden's plan. And they're essentially saying that they would have this financial setback because of the reduction in business across the companies that service federal student loans in their states. Like Mohila, based out of Missouri, as a result of this decreased revenue, it would leave Mohila in this way where they would be unable to meet their financial obligations to the state of Missouri. However, we got a lot of legal experts actually saying, yo, those charges are actually kind of based on false facts. What they're saying is that Mohila actually should expect to see increased revenue because you have student loan servicers that have left the space, and so Mohila is actually going to get more business. The other parties bringing the suit in their argument against Biden's plan, they're basically saying that they were deprived of their procedural rights. They're saying that President Biden and his team essentially didn't allow the public to weigh in on the shape of the plan before it rolled out. So they're basically saying they were excluded from the relief. You know, under the HEROES Act, you don't really need to notice and you don't really need to ask for commentary. So during national emergency, which is exactly when it was enacted, there wasn't any need for public comment or anyone else to just have any opinion on how it was rolled out to begin with. So again, that suit may just get thrown out. Also, when you think about the legal space, not getting relief or not getting the full benefit of relief as much as others, for example, is not the same as being harmed, and that was also pointed out during deliberations. Alright, enough of all that legal stuff. Like, what are all the implications of this entire thing? So the Supreme Court's decision on student loan forgiveness could have significant implications for not only borrowers, but also policymakers, and then just the broader landscape of higher education financing. A decision supporting this executive plan could pave the way for much broader loan forgiveness programs in the future, potentially benefiting millions of borrowers. Conversely, say this is limited, then what you may have is that other legislative solutions may have to be explored, or they're just going to find alternative approaches to address the student loan crisis that's currently going on. So to close, guys, I want to say that it's crucial to stay informed about like the latest news regarding like what the legal developments are with the student loan forgiveness, and just to like have an accurate understanding of how the Supreme Court's decision, if any, just may impact your federal student loans. If you don't have them, then great. But if you do have them, you want to make sure you're staying aware of the news. Also, prepare to pay if it doesn't get approved, but also just prepare to take some action regardless. So with that being said, guys, I know this is a different sort of topic, more general, but also important. I hope this helped. If you know someone that's had their loans on pause, if you know someone that just has federal student loans, make sure you share this video with them. And until next time, thank you for watching.